Welcome to my channel. This is Magic Hecate. Ready to test your knowledge of American history? Dive into our exciting U.S. President quiz and discover fascinating facts about the leaders who shaped the nation. From iconic quotes to surprising trivia, see how well you know the commanders-in-chief. Tips: you have to answer 32 questions about U.S. presidents. You get 10 seconds for each one. Let's get started. First one. Which U.S. president delivered the Gettysburg Address? On November 19, 1863, President Abraham Lincoln delivered a short speech at the close of ceremonies dedicating the Battlefield Cemetery at Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Who was the first U.S. president to live in the White House? President John Adams and his wife, Abigail, moved in the White House in 1800. Which U.S. president was known for his New Deal programs? The New Deal was a series of programs, public work projects, financial reforms, and regulations enacted by President Franklin D. Roosevelt in the United States between 1933 and 1938 to rescue the U.S. from the Great Depression. Which president is known for the Square Deal program? The Square Deal was Theodore Roosevelt's domestic program, which reflected his three major goals: conservation of natural resources, corporate law, and consumer protection. Which U.S. president signed the Emancipation Proclamation? President Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation on January 1, 1863. Who was the first U.S. president to be impeached? Andrew Johnson. The presidents impeached by the House were Andrew Johnson in 1868, William Jefferson, Bill Clinton in 1998, Donald John Trump in 2019 and 2021. Which U.S. president led the country through World War I? Woodrow Wilson, a leader of the progressive movement, was the 28th president of the United States. After a policy of neutrality at the outbreak of World War I, Wilson led America into war in order to make the world safe for democracy. What is Joe Biden's middle name? Robinette. Which president was hailed as Father of the Constitution? James Madison, America's fourth president, made a major contribution to the ratification of the Constitution by writing the Federalist Papers. In later years, he was referred to as the Father of the Constitution. Which U.S. president purchased the Louisiana Territory from France? Thomas Jefferson buys Louisiana Territory, and the nation moves westward. Which U.S. president is on the $5 bill? Abraham Lincoln. Which U.S. president is known for his role in founding the United Nations? Franklin D. Roosevelt. In which year was Abraham Lincoln assassinated? 1865. Who named the presidential country retreat Camp David after his grandson? Dwight D. Eisenhower. Who was the U.S. president during the Cuban Missile Crisis? The Cuban Missile Crisis was perhaps the greatest test of John F. Kennedy's presidency, and while he and Khrushchev were able to achieve a peaceful resolution, the crisis had a number of far-reaching historical consequences. Who was the first president not born as a British subject? Martin Van Buren, born on December 5, 1782, was the first American president not born a British subject. Which U.S. president was the first to visit China? In 1972, Richard Nixon became the first U.S. president to visit mainland China. Who was the youngest U.S. president? The youngest person to become U.S. president was Theodore Roosevelt, who, at age 42, succeeded to the office after the assassination of William McKinley. Who was president for only 31 days when he died in 1841 after catching pneumonia? William Henry Harrison. How old was John F. Kennedy when he was assassinated? (46) Who was the only U.S. president to resign from office? Richard Nixon. Nixon's second term ended early when he became the only U.S. president to resign from office as a result of the Watergate scandal. Which U.S. president authorized the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki? Harry S. Truman. Which president had the nickname the Great Communicator? Ronald Reagan. Reagan's effectiveness as a public speaker earned him the moniker Great Communicator. Who was the tallest? Donald Trump. Which president made Christmas a national holiday? Ulysses S. Grant. Which president advocated speak softly and carry a big stick? Theodore Roosevelt. Who was the ex-peanut farmer who became president? Jimmy Carter. Peanut farming, talk of politics, and devotion to the Baptist faith were mainstays of his upbringing. Which president was a former actor before entering politics? Ronald Reagan, originally an American actor and politician, became the 40th President of the United States, serving from 1981 to 1989. Which president was nicknamed the Comeback Kid? Bill Clinton. How old do you have to be to qualify as president? 35 years old. A candidate for the U.S. presidency has to be at least 35 years old, has to have resided in the U.S. for at least 14 years, and is a U.S. citizen based on birth. Which president was in power during the Black Thursday Wall Street crash? Herbert Hoover. Who was the president before Donald Trump? Barack Obama. How many correct answers did you get? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more interesting tests and to de-stress yourself.